Hey folks, it's Ben. Today I'm going to show you about this structure for these guys. These are chickens. That's a Rhode Island Red. That's a Red Rock Cross. But I don't think I've actually gone through what we actually keep our chickens in. It's a pretty fancy chicken coop. Exterior side here, this is all chicken wired in. So even the top and roof are chicken wired. It's all scrap wood except for the beam that's here and the beam that goes across. That's why it's kind of collapsed a little bit in the middle. It's kind of supposed to look a little bit like the arch of the barn over here. But it's outside, and so with the gate closed and all the chickens go in at night, with the gate closed it keeps things out and keeps them in. So if we're not able to get them out early in the morning, they got lots of stuff to do in here. There's food and water inside, so they can be safely in here and we don't have to worry about them. But typically if somebody's home, we'll let them out. So there's a gate there that opens and closes and they can come in and out as they please. The structure inside, this was originally, I think, grain storage. It's just a metal insulated structure. So it's this metal with the insulation on inside and galvanized metal on both. We have cut it up into this section here. So we've got the wall with the door and the chicken wire. It keeps people out. This used to be just storage, but since we get chicks every year, this is essentially where we keep our baby chicks. When the chicks aren't here, we just put grain and things in here. This wall moves out slowly, so we can move it out. And eventually, as the chicks get older and older, I'll open the gate here, they can go into this area, which allows them to be fenced off from the big chickens, but lets them interact so that they can get used to each other. It's a little dark in here, so let me turn on the light. We did run power out here, buried cable. Looking from where we just came into, we've got our feeders here. They're PVC tube, about 3-inch I think, or 2.5. They come down to a base here and an old cat litter box that was washed out for spill, and then they eat the spill, and a place where more spill can go and they can eat it. After a couple years of designs, this is the best nest boxes that we have. They're sloped so that they don't roost on them. They're filled with shavings and golf balls, and you can see there's some eggs to pick from. This one's kind of shallow. It's only about 4 inches deep. The latest one is over here. Kind of the same concept with the sloping, of course. We don't want them roosting on their nest boxes, but much deeper. And we find that some chickens, yeah, here's the good one, like to be more of in a hole when they're laying their eggs. So we've got all three here. So we have 6 nest boxes for these chickens. Our roosts are mounted on the building. They're just 2x4s. We originally had just the one, but come to find out, chickens like to go up. And here are our 3. All our Rhode Island Reds are about 2 years old now, so we have 5 left of the original group that we had, but they like to go to bed early. But they mostly love the upper roost, and then there's ventilation here. Originally the building only had the one window and the one door on one side of the building, so we did cut ventilation on each side there to get the cross breeds to come through, and that has helped quite a bit. Buried cable actually comes up and around, down into an outlet, light switch, etc. Right now I'm running a repeater, access point, and the power to run it for the cameras so we can see the chicks 24/7. That light is usually plugged in on a timer, so in the winter when you've only got about 8 hours of light, we actually give them about 13. That keeps egg production up. I really need to put another outlet here. The other thing is it's really easy to reset all the network gear by just unplugging and plugging right now, because that's all that's plugged in there. We've got a thermostat, or not a thermostat, a thermometer, keeps track on the temperature. Grain storage for the chickens. We've got chicken feed there, horse feed there actually, oyster shell. And as soon as the horse feed's done for the wintertime, now that the grass has turned green, we'll just put chick feed in there for now. So there's the chicks. They've got dual heat lamps in case it does get cold. But little stuff's here, another vent there, light switch here. That box actually is an interconnect for buried cable that goes over to the goat shed. So there's power over there as well. Let me turn the light off. Very handy in the wintertime. We do have a solar powered motion light, solar powered when we didn't have power out here originally, and there's a solar panel on the roof. And inside, to keep the gate open all winter, we built them a tunnel so the wind doesn't cut into the building so bad. The center post here actually has roosts, so when they're in here they can go up high, and they like to commonly. And then the feeder that's over here is actually We next seed an oyster shell. We also find that they get a lot less calcium when they're eating grass and bugs and such than when they eat their feed. So we kind of supplement them. They love that for sure. We're planning on building a little box-like thing with a grate on top, like a fencing, so that they can't eat down, but we're going to plant grass in there so that there's always a source of grass. They just tend to eat everything that's alive when they're in there, even around the edges. And their water bowl is dry. They have water inside, of course, but a lot of them just like to drink out of this as well, and it's just a bowl with water on it, pallet to play on, that sort of thing. So that's our chicken coop. It actually borders our horse fence, which I'll talk about later. And there's the goat shed over there. But that's my chicken coop, and that's where we keep our chickens. We've got 18 of the big girls and 26 of the little ones now. The Rhode Island Reds are being retired, so we'll sell them. And the black crosses are going to be, we'll keep the nice ones. All our chickens are domesticated, so they'll come up to you and you can pet them if you want to. We like to keep them friendly, and they just go around and do that. We'll keep some of the crosses. Our fleet of chicks are half girls, half boys, so between the both of those we'll have about 20 chickens is what we shoot for. If you got any questions, go ahead and ask. We've been raising chickens for about 3 years now, so this is the third batch of chicks that we've had. And like I said, any questions, just give me a holler. Thanks for listening.